So let's go to Rachel Parsons in Fairfax, Virginia, and let Rachel explain to us. Rachel, how are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Well, you know, we're holding out here.
You guys better be careful.
Yeah, I know. We have guards posted, actually, with fire extinguishers. But tell us a little bit about CIFTA. What is that? What's going on there?
Sure. Well, the Organization of American States got together, and it's a treaty that has been developed by that organization. And it started being developed in 1997, as you mentioned, during the Clinton administration. And all the states who are involved signed it, but 8 of the OAS member nations, including the U.S. and Canada, have not ratified this treaty. So it's been signed since 1997, but has not been ratified. Now, this is what is going on at this point. The announcement that President Obama came up with a few weeks ago and is that he's sending it to the Senate to be ratified. There have been many media reports out there suggesting that the NRA supported it, suggesting the NRA was at the table while this was being discussed. That's untrue. Actually, we knew about the treaty, as did a lot of other organizations across the country, and we did talk to representatives who were in the meetings. We were not present where the meeting was, where the treaty was finalized, and we did not have anything to do with development of language, which is one reason why we are very concerned with this treaty. There is very broad language in this treaty that, if ratified by the Senate, would require the United States to adhere to things like gun registration. It would also outlaw things like ammunition reloading if you do not have a license to do so. Things like that are very concerning to gun owners across this country. It's very concerning to the National Rifle Association. So there's some big concerns to this, and the way we keep this from being ratified without serious renegotiation is to contact our senators and our congressmen in Washington, D.C.
Now, as I understand it, did you say there were 29 different countries that have already signed on to this?
I didn't give a number, but the majority of the OAS member nations have signed it, and they signed it on November 14th, 1997. But there are 8 nations, including Canada and the United States, that have not ratified it.
Now I think also in our research here, of those 29 countries, I don't think a handful of them even have a Second Amendment right. And so,
the Second Amendment is unique to the United States,
right. But
especially in its form as the Second Amendment. There are a lot of countries that allow civilian ownership, but the requirements and the restrictions are very great. So the United States has the best version of the Second Amendment, the best option for gun ownership, in the world. It's a very unique American freedom. And we don't believe that other nations should come in and chip away at our Second Amendment. And in this case, as a solution to a gun trafficking problem in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. And if this were to be instituted, this would be a worldwide agreement. And I think that's important to note here, folks, is that we're talking worldwide if everybody jumps on board this. And like I said, our research is that some of these countries, you can't even own a gun. So why they're endorsing this, again, it's certainly complicated, but it has risen its ugly head. And what does it look like we're going to do about this? I know the NRA is against it. I mean, there shouldn't be any question there. Where do we stand exactly on the next step with CIFTA? Do I need to be concerned right now?
I think that there's reason to be concerned. Right now, it's with the Senate, and if the Senate chooses to ratify, then all of the provisions in the treaty would be applied to the United States. Again, that's things like gun registrations, things like you'd have to have a license to manufacture and to manufacture guns and ammunition. Now, while there is a requirement like that in U.S. federal law, it gives exceptions to hobbyists and folks who want to reload ammunition and things like that. So it would put all of these people who are manufacturing, and I'll put that in quotes, ammunition or firearms. Now, my dad has a whole garage full of reloaders, and that would he would no longer be able to do that without a license. That's chipping away, and that is infringing upon our Second Amendment freedoms. And the NRA cannot ever support anything like that. Now, just to point out, this treaty is also supported and being promoted by the NGO, and the NGO has sided time after time with anti-gun groups and gun control. So when you have the support of organizations that have anti-gun agendas, then there is cause for concern.
Right, and just to clarify that, folks, NGO means non-government organization. If you didn't know that. So what bothers me about this, Rachel, is that it's one more thing in a larger agenda, and it's something that we need to bring out to the folks and let them know that this thing, it's all part of an agenda to take away our Second Amendment rights. So we can't we can't ignore anything here, and we have to be aware of all the things that are taking place. And I just think this is one small, and it gets larger, and there's another one, and there's another one. There just seems to be way too many of them. So for you folks out there who are getting the information on CIFTA, be careful what you're reading. There's a lot of information on the email that is erroneous. And to stay with the NRA, go to the NRA-ILA, and I'm sure that you'll find accurate information. Don't take these emails for granted. Am I right or wrong here, Rachel?
You're absolutely right. Come to nraila.org anytime to get the full information. I do want to point out that there is language in the treaty that suggests that it's not intended to restrict lawful ownership and use of firearms. However, again, the language is overbroad, and it would put further restrictions on law-abiding people in our Second Amendment as we know it. I don't want to cause a lot of hysteria, but I want people to be concerned and be aware of these things. We're getting attacks from all sides recently, including the UN. So, there are folks in the UN who want to have worldwide gun bans. So this is just another one of those, like you said before, these small issues that we need to be aware of and take care of, because on the worldwide front, there is an attack on the Second Amendment.
And thank you very much, Rachel. And that's very important, listeners. You've heard it today from the NRA. If you need further information, go to the NRA for it. And again, don't pay attention to the overwhelming amount of information that's coming across the internet that we're finding to be false. Go to the NRA, get the proper information. Rachel, I want to thank you very much. I'll see you again next week.
All right, see ya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.